precisely that the sovereignty of Ghana resides in the people of Ghana, in whose name and for whose welfare the powers of government are to be exercised in a manner and within the limit laid down in the Constitution. Ivan, Akwababu.
Yeah, my just boss.
Mr. Yansha election promises versus reality. Usha promises are air cost you na. Abai betumi ediso. Obetumi aye.
The Dika mentioned I mentioned here for now. Men starting from the note and now talk about media personnel and involvement in politics and then as a forum. Over the years, and I think we've been very hypocritical when it comes to issues of politics and as a forum, because in a democracy there are no neutrals. Either you are a coward taking part of the oppressor, or you are part of those fighting for freedom. So in a democracy there are no neutrals. So we call the United States of America now compare the bigger platforms that you can think of, like CNN, Fox News, and as a forum. Allegiance where they towards. For instance, CNN is a liberal platform. Fox Republican platform. And when it comes to young critiquing the issue, irrespective of the fact these news platforms, or more limit to certain political ideology, they are able to stand firm and fair. They critique the issue. So where you stand as a person, I'm not sure say it's an issue. It's just about job and it's a media person be declare and no that clarity to you are able to listen to issues, because we support John Mahama now John Mahama be president the following day. No Shasi Edin Semuna. I'm not sure say you will come here and defend the person. So Obia will every right at any point in time to support whichever government.
The first person I may criticize.
Yes, and that is what makes us human. That is what makes us human, because as a man, your conviction is everything. That is all that we've been saying. Back to political promises. I think so the Yafamia Besine na we are Ghana na you are hoping the many promises being thrown out there in the name of party politics. Then you look at what has happened. Because now Okroma 2016. Now you name the way na Nema Efaso na Eko. Then President Akufo-Addo pop out from nowhere and they assured Ghanaians promises upon promises. One district, one factory, one this, 1 million, just a one, the Amoke Cabo Mbebre, then or more to Ghana for so. Fast forward, Ghana for actual money the 2 million. But these promises here can't once a mean none. And then what Nasia we are Ghana near. Ubetimaka said the promises these people made, Ebi see the light of the day. For instance, President Akufo-Addo, the key promises: one, industrialization. Yaka industrialization, and when it comes to all the bigger economies around the world, Germany, America, and as a thrive when industries pick up, because I know the creating numasem as a forum as we speak. Those industries now you can't want them, not even one, because I was looking up for that industrial transformation. I said, a bit to me, a creating numa, I'm a Ghana for any BIA, because countries let me advance around the world in industries nene etimia pope. So we a country like Germany coming up after the Second World War. Adia baako Germany taking upon itself and etimi boma Germany timi gene who free ohiem the industrial drive omukọ, because after the war no or realize this a news we said na sasia said the only way is to go into machinery into na wokọ Germany all the big industries no na be hu na aboama or mine a travel. You go back to China today. China 50 years ago was one of the poorest country, but who say we have the numbers, because numbers are China or America only have. So say manufacture nema, we can leverage our numbers as a competitive advantage economically, never my numbers. And China atimia rise to a point the second largest economy. At some point Ghana yet yesu about your dollar CD China etimi take deliberate steps. Now we're devaluing the UN because o devalue and near China ni beko akotona bontene e be disincentive. You have to buy Chinese products and Huawei ne other product or motor phones and so forth, they have that competitive edge. And now one Apple and a battle when it comes to some of these things. And the industrial promises in our president Akufo Addo, and those industries are not there, and he's not bold enough to take any platform and tell Ghana for say now and those promises. Second has to do with issues of corruption. Corruption is one of the cornerstone issue of President Akufo Addo Ghana for 12 man. Oh, people saw him as a no nonsense man when it comes to corruption. Sabi obey who baby, but now me yaka corruption or damn say pam, because Nabayano hasn't been able to do anything when it comes to issues of corruption. I don't know, I see the state machinery, the state might in our side, just use it to commit to investigation. Now you say some level of merit, woman as a merit.
But okay, they talk about the establishment of the Office of the Special Prosecutor as an institution to deal with cases of corruption, as a step, a bold initiative to deal with corrupt issues. So now
I think the Office of the Special Prosecutor, I said it some time ago, was a useless creation. And because I person fight corruption, you don't need to set up institutions. What you need is the political commitment and the will on the part of the state. Because there are agencies already, they have prosecutorial powers, like the AG department. They have the prosecutorial powers, and then even the police to a certain extent, and then there are other agencies are able to go deeper into issues of corruption. And these are binding serious. So fighting the issues of corruption. You don't need to set up the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Office of the Special Prosecutor by Metem Bisa said the Abebe Crown Mutime prosecuting is Abebe Edio Maisika, not what for. They hasn't been able to convict anybody. In some nearby, the Special Prosecutor has become some kind of a stamping way, because Abra Papa we ba na anu ada ono aya willing so beboa a fight corruption kisi ajabeni. At some point in time the guy was frustrated lumba nyom akwa no ma ye ne ba ye ho so no twa na remes, because just niam oya enye account nko somebody oya will say me ba president when I was me fight corruption, I am ready to do at some point in time, because this whole thing was a scam, some kind of we are added just to the political narrative. Now, I'm fighting corruption, and then Kiseja is frustrated. Open up about when the media deal with Martin Amidu. One president, the Akufo Addo, brought him on board. The people thought, oh, Martin, they all had a track record with his own party, NDC. At some point, Rollins, Nelson, Mahama, issues, what the special prosecutor. But not President Akufo Addo thought, say, pandano to manipulations and influences. But at the end of the day, the guy demonstrated, said, no, I'm here to work. At the end of the day, you who near my see or no one casa babon timber catch there and say, President Akufo Addo a mother serpent of corruption, because the obeying just to disrupt and thwart him from doing whatever that he intended to achieve. Yet Yana Sicila the pie should be see Yakwada sorry $1 million it will be them. Now, and there is no civilized democracy anywhere. I'll bet me explain this, because a friend of mine told me, say, Oko UK some point in time, Oko police for a conform we are on them, Sisan and their manner or £10,000 over a Mufaka home. Police for Bansom by investigation. Anna, or boss, number $10,000 over them, and I'll catch and say, only $10,000 in free in 7 or come, you say, or Bope. And now I can say another issue, man, because you can't keep $10,000 under your bed. I wouldn't declare chair be a winner. Then he took it away from that particular report and said that you are more fire or measure this Canada man. But it means you will be $1 million go win them. Besin ne. Ubisaso in your scan or Hannah, yeah, to an answer story. Some media men were telling us, no find the woo ye and more years harbor. Now confirm not your crab back if you know in a year, we know $1 million. These are silly stuff people were telling us on radio. At the end of the day, special prosecutor here now gives oil investigation, Abeiku, what is the outcome biaba? That particular issue has been killed. At some point, yeah, the command Yoko for a crime so true letter commander Attorney General can say issues of way onjai, because special prosecutor can say money laundering aspect be na more that ingenuity, the resources to be able to pull that investigation. But no, they kill the matter as we speak. Cecilia Dapa is walking free, and the President Akufo Addo Okachira Manfo said public person or be ho ban no, and the public person I hwehwa hu na campus obi abo ho ban. So that is a failed promise, because one key thing na edi enya over the years and amanfo free say betimi aboa ayese yetimi battle corruption. And what to have now light adum amanfo onim de nti a ACC, because ECG so amanfo produce power na omo de ma ECG say onkoton a bill no wagigi 45%, because that mismanagement and inefficiency na wo system mu. Then American government Samuel Obama or the power initiative by under the compact 2 catch there say inject some level of efficiency into your energy sector. By doing so, if a private sector be room, now we will move room. Mema usika, sabaya, sa sika na, nema enko yeno, ni na tu becha. Then fast forward, these people form the cabal. I a foreign company in the name of PBS and all fronted that particular deal. Another day, corruption may break in. What is a president in Kukudoso investigating? I didn't see an amount for the American government was supposed to give us $190 million. As a result, the American embassy wrote to us and says they've cancelled that money. Do you know what $190 million can do? Says ECG that from 2022, 10.9 billion. The following year, it was 1.9 billion. You're saying a car and the wheel. So all the agency and the Netco at the car, Vaco Trust Fund at the car, Ghana Cylinder Manufacturing Way at the car, Oko Energy Sector, just a towa and a daho. Then let me bring you back to the economy. And then another Dr. Baumianam or yet promises our Session University Central making promises in Nasifon. I am telling you, sir. Theoretical way na ye different from practical wisdom. I would be a amana manifest in terms of work, because Okase John Mahama was borrowing recklessly. John Mahama busia na oboni nyansa anim on Ghana for ho and a Ghana 14 and say no more man. Anya hwe ukochi John Mahama bisa na busia na obo no benya nema kyerɛw by ne ukochi kono forata na ukacha nsa busia bebrebe na wabo no e de na ode aya one hwe ya wode ahomtie babu na kunu, because onye nyansa de ba kokora nka nkyerɛw. Because Sikana Moti Yanomoshi no, Oba and they told said borrowing, governance was all about borrowing. People causing them. Oba early stage and Okobo Busia 2.8 and other buy a Euro bond. And no 40 year. The following year he went back and took 3 billion. The following year 3 billion. The following year 3 billion. So in a space of 4 years, now you Bob Busia over 11 point something billion dollars. Our commercial space. Into 2023, he made an attempt to go back. And I'm confounded. Books no Aquawe Katana would be that is not what the book says. And I declare Ghana junk. All the credible rating agencies like Moody's, Fitch, and then as for everything a junk. At that point, now there was no way to make a bubble baby. And until I'm die when you see Bank of Ghana. Na Addison, I turn Bank of Ghana into a printing press and all the printing Sikano. You buy a house inflation at 53%. And the economy now, almost promising and say on by economy no buy. And a come many year to the stance that Ghana I declare bankrupt after COVID. Apart from Zambia, Ghana is the second country I declare bankrupt after COVID, because numbers management was so widespread. COVID sikana about Kromano, Utibi Mitibi, Kwaya fast why she sikanu bu. And in all this, Remakasa governance is a human enterprise. Nipa beti my mistake. So we for be share jumama. We need to mention the nipa na buy, because in humans there some of these indiscretions are there. But say nipa no ye adwuma na, what can you the obetimi aye asina no kwan and now betimi aye kire nipa no nyansa sesabi oman ade ye mfa ne sa, because every human being bia no, even so your pope kura are very dangerous. All that they need are incentive and opportunities to thrive. So as a state, you take away the incentive, you take away the opportunities. Many people who say if you go against the state, consequences will be there. But we are talking about the president who will be in some. Nipa no bokro no a na ono apade no mo. Nipa no bokro no a na wakele omo furo. So at the end of the day, there is enough motivation for people to steal. There is enough motivation for people to engage in all the excesses. The other side is this impunity with which they operate. This arrogance of power. Instead no air cost Ghana for Ekano, you see certain foolish belligerents. As a Nipano cancer, my minty, the Mepena Mayer, but Mamono, and your owner maybe no dia Kunyama on our Tisona, men and Anam call corner or Modiama minty the open. We are talking about a democracy. Nipana be 2 million amount. So you need to respect the people. Sometimes you may be doing right thing, but some explanations, but you need to respect the people. So always, the relationship that might exist between power and the people must be that of mutual respect and intellectual kinship. Nothing else. There is no pity, nothing. But in our case, it's a different ball game altogether. And they are taking us for granted. So I think that the promises being made, and then as a phone, now President Akufo-Addo from first day, you could see clearly say promises now will make you, and there was no way Obetimi could do so. Abeiku, yet yes, will be president idea. So when you get opportunity in your maiden edition to address your people, when you look into their faces, in some of the first day president addressing the maiden edition, America president therefore speeches no can boom and obejina ho and all kind go ho. Now such a man can even trust him when it comes to say the vision in the dreams and so. So at that particular point, he told Ghanaians says and you man there is no way between it was just a narrative president. And unfortunately, we found ourselves in the media space. Most of our media people are very hypocritical, very hypocritical. Because you see, me growing up, I became so confused about issues or any reality about politics. Because Oda Sharia, NDC nete MPP nete and a host nete we see no credit, host to know instead of him to clear the issues so that the listener will get. We are first that precisely what the issues are. No, not the answer will be text messages. So I know the average listener. Not the answer. Or bet I
see radio host, the TV host. Is there some interrogating issues are politicians ekano?
Yes.
Text messages and I'm okay.
Yes.
Amukasa si jira mamenko. Message aba. So many times. Okay, so what about promises and reality?
Yes.
Ma yembra okay, abuse of power, abuse of incumbency, and the keka survey de bria koso ubi so man for GDA mo electoral commission mo in the history of Fourth Republic, the current electoral commission, the trust the people have for them above from unprecedented. And we about the judiciary, the trust and control no more edema your court, your judges and also above from Adentia.
I think that this whole enterprise is being run like a Ponzi scheme. It's not a democracy. Me say we have imposters who are fronting democratic rule and they just make it look like democracy. But in reality, there is no democracy. Because I will all state Obama ba catch and say Africa, you making sure about build strong institutions. Institutions and you could nice abana. Making convictions and your friends and strong values and principles to stand and the interface institution all state institutions compromising. For instance, let's talk about the judiciary and say Supreme Court the ruling Bible until now court social media and then unanimous 11 na you say where's a man for you it's so derogatory. But why? You have to promote so be a judiciary that. But appointment for instance in recent time, look at the number of appointment of President Akufo-Addo akogu the Supreme Court. Ghana conventionally you come enter 14. But and then you turn 14 as a make as a parliament or more trying to approve them. And so I heard the background of some of the individuals and they are very problematic. For instance, we have a fair parliamentary candidate whole central you're promoting a Supreme Court bench. So now issue by a very contentious political issue. Now Chief Justice and the power and the infantry to appoint that person to go and sit on that particular panel. Sorry, raise it on the panel no. Or say this is a constitutional matter. Constitutional matter and coconut the court and I'm punching at the corner. And your political actors, they bear political interest. So you cannot disaggregate the two. You need to show the people respect. Looking at the nature of this particular issue, because the gentleman raised it on the bench or said that no raise it here just to take away credibility from the judiciary. But over the years, money stop here, and when it happens, they think so. Yeah, my lord, respect the amount for the bound, but respect we earn. You cannot cow people into submission, and as I want to intimidate people to respect you, you need to earn it. You understand? So those times, and I don't make us say even. Pontius Pilate nko said that their channel buy na your generation be abeka na
ma membusa wadwen citizen vigilante.
Yes.
Under this government, yenim cases are vigilante for a court in Kumasi, a court free a suspect who was standing trial.
Yeah.
Intimidate judge.
Yeah.
My judge Gane. At the end of the day, they were fined.
Yes.
They were fined though. And this is a criminal offense.
Yeah.
But they were fined.
Yeah.
And UTV was UTV for a year United Showbiz. They were attacked.
Yes.
By party tax.
Yes.
Almost they were fined. It is judiciary, say credibility and I respect and conform and
yes.
And conform when you miss sending almost if we
yes.
And no enemy
yes, because you see, it is a impunity, it is a flower. Yabia, Debia, and anti estate. Now I'm far crime be so and stop it. Now you allow it to fester and grow a ginsemu. And that is the point we've gotten to. And Ghana was concerned about the neutrality and the independence of the judiciary, or every reason, because there are several polls about recently, Afrobarometer for the report Babonte, gauging the level of trust among for the judiciary. What kind of report now you're Ghana near? We so because my muhayati, we can lose the executive, we can lose parliament, but one avenue young to mean lusu has to do with the judiciary. Public trust in the judiciary must be absolute and unwavering. But to extend say nipanya sema or prefer so be fan to enya mabudua than to go to court, because they don't trust the court, and that should be a major concern. You understand? Until we chief justice, you need to see say all these sentiments being expressed by people on social media and other form. I know they are very, very important, because justice delivery, it's not just about sitting in the court wearing that particular horse wig, reading judgment. It is about getting people to have trust and confidence in what you are delivering, because the whole essence of justice is to hold society together. And a disintegrated society. Nipa suspicious and running away from not a bit creative for that chaos. I know that so I think say politics, and I eat deep into the fabrics of our judiciary. And I'm a public judiciary baby, because me growing up, I have never seen judiciary winning a babontia as a man for to social media, and another platforms are diverse. So I think they need to do a lot. Me, I will deal with the image, because image in there, you may sit in the courtroom and think everything is okay, but trust me,
all right,
the public, it's not.
All right, youth activist and social commentator. Pacho, your last name, is it a surname and a nickname? Mr. Ivan Kyei Innocent.
Yeah, that is the name.
Innocent,
Yes.
I will send him more. Oh, do you know who I'm saying? Ivan Kyei Innocent. Now, we Trabiama media for hosti MPP ni NDC. Now, say panelists in a country. Mubakano crutches basa we ubwa. Yanyam fatuhu. DSC we Eddie say media impact in country. The American say Jina Homame. Mamin ko ti wemra na min ko kai messages eti media no so no yakaho eno man no ababedu sampempe so because yentumi hwe no kura ni nka yentumi hwe no kura ni nka media no slow because ye bedi watem media no slow say nipa 1000 bedi watem na so wo kasa ma millions eti why na wo so man Ghana ana wo so mo yefunu eti ase eti media no so or the subwa boy na no kure se media no yentumi hwe amanyofo nanim enka just asemu a wokai eyentro 2016 who can say 2024 who can say yentumi hwe amanyofo nanim ka say 2020 who can say ubeye we aden na wanye na dia wanye no who can say me pabocho ebia say ni senti na mentumi anye na yakinka in text messages wabrukwa yenim say asamu amanyebi ni eka no woboa anything for try me to be anim na media na ye the fourth state grab na e say boss society no ban no media na ya da afa waka judiciary confidence a man for enya or judiciary and intina say nkrofo bodia nkrofo pe eduro to ni dia more than obekọ court because the abone is fast. I say waka promises factories in a way, constituency no factories in a way, 1 million sikana way. And Yankopon dino, so I could say Yankopon sorry dino, I could say.
I think it's one of the most disgusting issue. Metia nasabi ebufuya homte because so here baby we are say advance here drew and because of globalization, you know, we are not living in isolation. Obiti Ghana, the level of exposure in terms of education, you are competing with another person either in China or US for a job because there are a lot of people are multi Ghana in the US online and as a forum. So while countries are making advances are more promote or more education to a certain level, no, you might want to see Ghana say yeah the same thing. But baby we are see do no na on mind that sorry say yeah the sika kosi cathedral. Now besides a president about say yesi cathedral na nyankopon de body beche yen. Na a civil war ba wa prevent yen. Okọ ya moso krum. Omusi cathedral yen ne Kodi omoto abana eji room no bia dwane firi ho eba akroma so cathedral enji nipa baby we ase aduru no you invest in your people ade we start here ya ka kira ban se sabi enye nyansasam se baby a nkora enu baby te ukọ secondary schools na kwa ese na nkora bobo ape so na sika kakra yanya na yedi kosi cathedral na we need to reinvest and divert that money to other ventures asabi ebetimi aboa improve amount life. But nipa antie na omo ho ya bufu in this particular regard e ya sofo na mu di sa ade we yachi nipa kan nyansasem nyina kire omo a they were the very people who are inciting ayebo president abaso say onkosoro nsi cathedral na Ghana nyankopon man. So the question that we nyansani abebisa ho ne say so man no tam ne sika no de kosi cathedral ade achi na nkramofo sori so omo nso omo pe bi ade ansem na abeka na se kwakubu nsam ne team so sori so omo so omo pe abosomdan a you cannot tell them something to me see because Ghana is a secular state. So sa nneema we nyina nipa anwene ho afa ye kowram animguase ne sha ase se eba no asofo no we na betwe krata ase ma resign even the courage to approach Ghanaians and say hey we are sorry mumu bi kan yantie. They couldn't gather that particular courage and abaye ka enesio and anu nyadaje e kan shraj report ababonten na me say o kan report na wabamba bu as a Ghanaian say aya ade aye si nyankopan soro dan the whole contract was fraudulent because shraj say contract na ya award the entire contract over 300 and something million no aya fraudulent it should be cancelled parliament and yawe kwan ya fa so ya ma contract PPA approval yenya tese some individuals trans no modwene so ye na yesi ana wo kwan ya fa so idea nsa ko bo man sikam na ya draw $25 million ya buy say seed money na kanifo ya ta kono akoi 25 million Ghana cedis e seed money we kwa akoi 32 million Ghana cedis na ya say the kutua contractors na se foka about papers at some point na yesika almost be $58 million eko na wo tena na bisa on say there na $58 million ebetimi aya ebetimi asesa Ghana for bebre hyebre basa sika no cathedral no kwa yantumi ansi e na akwaya amana eda ho so me the mechanic say the shrine report na sia ka say yenya investigating na if possible asofo no mo kan mo ye boy yam prosecute o mo nyina I think that time aso say ye be kire nipa nyansa wo kroma say ye fro say kodi ade anim na say wunnim hunim dia menye say me na me ye sofo na me ye say kodi anim because anim asofo a o mo kwaje bank kodi anim ade no de bank no gugu ye when omunim bank hunim dia ba omukogigi gu no sa cathedral issue ya bai e wo se ye kire mo hu se oman sika ye nkosi oman sika me pachawo ko no serious ye fancy democratic dispensation and I nkosi oman sika as ma pachawo ma resign me. Now
talking about banks egugu here Dr. Paco Sindum eko court say kwan aban faso ejini bank GN bank no in kwan emfa kwan mu no huso I think so. We're winning judgment to Krampo.
Yes.
And but still, the Yemfa, the bank, man. cleaning of the banking sector, it's one major issue at the unemployment because your car banks about 9 or 10 banks.
Yes.
And your car bank was a friend consolidated bank. So we believe say what banks 9 10 ebomwa sa bank na ho de be so asene eco bank ni other banks na aka no minim bank na ho de e de na be ka efa sa banking cleaning the banking sector.
I think it's very pathetic, and we say what's na radio so say that we see na wo church nsemu a na emotions are feeling the padodo na adwen politics no do na amfa nyansa anya politics or the emotions and so issues no betena se tie mu ye na no aye very judgmental no normally no emotional kind of way trigger and you know or katia me party obi any ho time obi when it comes to issues like this. So we have banking sector clean up now. There is no banking sector where awiasia omuni your friends say liquidity problems. A bank bia go back to America 2008. Abra Obama ebano. There was a recession in America. All the major corporation banks now were folding up. What he did he say or set aside huge sums of money, a capital. Then he gave it to banks now more reputation than other firms like JP Morgan Chase Bank and other reputable firms that take this money. Go and buy all distressed assets. Now, we make sure say mobile revive no amana ye because I'm Ghana for the year with these corporations. They took the money, bought several of the distressed assets and revived them so that people will not lose their job. That was the same thing we were expecting. Some of us were on radio telling governments, okay, if there are challenges, let us go the American way. Let us find money and buy these assets. And as you find a regulation mechanism, I bet him they buy it. But Enam said the motivation was abroad the and the political opponents yen said Juma, that was the motive. And a bank here 9 billion for recapitalization. You're spending a whooping 21 billion. So you cannot cry no be about more different figures. And you do good bank. Obi a bank manager now to kwan to prako. You can imagine the psychological trauma such a person is going through and the level of unemployment they create here. Senkaya science say you know nanka banking sector na aye robust and that's another thing. And ADB ukwa adan the siwo and bank blame agu ukwa your National Investment Bank the same thing and your dan the siwo agu hwini and CBG and no be and now a dollar account will go there and tell them say they should give you your dollar. These banks are still sinking. So I know the question is who took that decision? 2020 2022 America about 4 banks in a year, a Signature Bank, Republican Bank and one other bank. But almost as essential distress, then they signal your friends the American the Treasury Department. Then they find money for amount for most can 10 times now. Then they bought this asset. Because one thing about some of these corporations is Papa Kwasindium Ebia Juma and then the man a Ghana for take your friends say unemployment bed in our minus no or you be free and so and you need to help them do a point baby na say Papa Kwasindium the nisika no din semuna. There is no private bank. Me from where I stand there is nothing like private bank because government that power to ensure that the financial security of the citizens is protected. And this will be a bank. The very moment appeal will go to the public, and yet public and yet private blame public because the state has a vested interest in Sabaya buying the Bible for her buying. And it is a Papa Kwasindium what you do, pick him up, you can either prosecute him or do whatever that you want to do with him. But unfortunately, and I'm saying now the energy with which omoyo ntino ya ntrase anwene sansema make nyina ho no an say yengu saa I know the good banks solution be na dey abaye the unemployment still ravaging. So I think say politics ye ba aban mu nya tumi na sabi emotions na ya gigi amanfo koye we na ya na edo so ye ntrase. Then we should also appoint right people into right positions because unfortunately the kind of politics I no kroma no enya meritorious. We don't appoint people based on their level of expertise, knowledge, or whatever. It is based on when a constituency no come in, when the financing and so forth. So I know the day you have a lot of them that had the position and I think that is a serious problem. I say fix it because there are some people when your appointment are the and I know the day on mine gusu sinkiana yesinke because on my promises we have the men. Near the boarding, professors and doctors and so forth. On mine in a way. The
last one,
Abai share or yeah for domestic debt exchange program. Man for citizens are investing in bonds. And on a day hair cutting a buyer and who pensioners normal copycat our Ministry of Finance. And then this asked me by.
I think say reckless borrowing I make one no. Abeiku, you know say bond the most secured investment anywhere in the world because so what top stocker and as we invest here. Overnight, you can lose all your money. Overnight, everything you got top in the way. But when you buy bond, and you're so secure because you coupon rate and what maturation date now can. So it is the secured investment you can do anywhere. But unfortunately, I'm bossing a bonnie and I boy Kenyans or some nippants, you know. This is what has happened. Ghana are declared bankrupt, which means your foreign external creditors are your mocha. Young to win to your mocha, the China car over 1.7 billion, the Paris Club car 1.9 billion. Oko the Eurobond marketer, the car 13 billion, and the multinationals I do mocha can in Abuma, your debt a wabonteno, and the revenue no. Say your cousin you to Yakana or mine babo. Until we've gone there to declare to them such a kana ya demono ya bon kwasi abosia in the past ama sikana ama mene ya enti yentumi ntu ayaka yesramo montwe nkwa animu mayen, and that is exactly what has happened. Abanye sa na manu we say omode your standard debt no nkwa forgive you na there is no way we can survive. So for the first time in the history of this country no ya bakrom ha ama Ghana for domestically omodo musika bo aban bosia in the form of pensioners, in the form of a motor bond, in the form of more omoto treasure bill na se for no sa sika no na ene President Akufo no offer second for rata I restructure that particular debt. He said no yeah twa kwa ni maturation no na say eduru ha edu sika amount. Most of the people who hear this investment obi o 60 years obi o 70 years obi o 80 years me hospital na metimi ya aduma. I know how these people are vulnerable when it comes to some of these things or medication. Anti-diabetic medication, hypertension, those drugs, you know. At that age, there is nothing like postpone. These people did this investment to buy themselves this medication and to be already 80 years. Now, catch as on Chinisika anymore. A death sentence now pass a mano. Why? Because a certain government decided to live a very reckless and dangerous life. Abraham Obabosiano, Nyansa Samba, young country, nobody listened to anybody. And on minor bankruptcy na ya damuno, and in the Samra Sanema way in a Oko Jubilee House, Sika Yaswako Hokoko di in a year. No, what's your Yembeso? Sika Yaswako Jubilee House. You can take the budget and read the amount of money you push the Jubilee. But President, a whole year on tighten the belt, then Koloforata will come back and tell you, say, Mon tighten the belt. When James as a president, no belt holes who claim na campus are tight. And I think that is how unserious these people are. And you see, Adeba Kwema, the echo swing in Esaya Reho, has to do with the family friend Kabbalah. Yes, I attach it.
But remember, next issue. One of the issues are abai edibo kane abai Mahama abai sobo